the sin and not the sinner. He was always trying to lift people up.
Now to Asia, rapper turned politician Balendra Shah's newly formed Rastriya Swatantra party is heading towards a sweeping victory in Nepal's first general elections since the violent Gen Z protests, shattering the dominance of established political parties in the politically fragile nation. According to reports from 161 of the total 165 constituencies, the RSP has won 6 seats and is ahead in 110 others. Shah, the former mayor of Kathmandu till recently, has secured more than 15,000 votes in Japa 5 constituency against 4-time Prime Minister and CPN-UML chair KP Sharma Oli in the latter's stronghold. Oli has received just 3,300 votes so far. Joining us live, we have Gautam Mukherjee, who is a senior journalist located in New Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show, Gautam. We've seen here in Balendra Shah perhaps an unconventional candidate. He is quite a bit younger than the previous Prime Minister. He's a former rapper. Of course, he has political experience being the former mayor of Kathmandu. What contribution do you believe that the youth vote played in his election, in his possible election, rather?
Well, it's not really a possible, it's a landslide.
Mm-hmm.
It's a landslide, and the youth vote had a lot to do with it because they're totally fed up with the conventional politics of the left and the right, the communists, the interference of China, the sort of big brother attitude as it's seen by the Nepalis from India. So Balendra Shah, who is, yes, he's a rapper, but he's also a structural engineer, will, in my opinion, make a very fine prime minister. And his first order of batting will be to convince his voters, who are mostly young people, that the massive corruption in everything is being rolled back. What he will exactly do, I'm not sure at this point in time, but a lot of people are saying he'll be watched for the first 100 days to see how he proceeds.
Mm-hmm. And now just moving slightly southeast, how do you believe that the youth protests in Bangladesh and Nepal are connected? Could we see a regional phenomenon now in youth protests and a new political turnout, some fresh energy in elections in this region?
Well, I don't think the two can be linked, except that they are in the same subcontinental region.
Mm-hmm.
Bangladesh is basically, yes, it's anti-corruption and authoritarianism as perceived under the Awami League, but it is thoroughly infiltrated with Islamists backed by the Pakistan ISI, as well as various other foreign powers jockeying for influence, including the US and China. So Bangladesh is now going to settle down into a semblance of, if you like, governance under the BNP and Tariq, who has just been elected. All the moves he's made so far are centrist in nature, and I think he wants to restore the shattered economy of Bangladesh, which was totally ruined by 18 months or so of Yunus's rule, who did a lot of political things, but nothing for the economy. In fact, he damaged it at every turn. So the BNP, now the Bangladesh elections are over, and therefore, and BNP has won a majority on its own. The Islamists are in the opposition, the Jamaat, and they cannot make too much trouble as long as they're in the opposition. That means a lot of the fond hopes of people who wanted to pretty much infiltrate and take over Bangladesh have been pushed back. I think relations with India will improve now, and India is being, right from the start, just as Khalida Zia died, open-handed about it. They're encouraging Bangladesh to restore ties and improve them as the time goes on. As far as Nepal goes, Nepal has been a playground for the Chinese, and Oli is the main culprit, and his showing in the elections demonstrate how disenchanted the Nepali people are with him. Now, I don't know whether Balendra Shah, who was partially educated in India, whether he will lean towards India. It is possible, but then Nepal again has an economic problem in the main, and it has to solve it by either leaning towards India or leaning towards China. Now, the trouble with leaning towards China is that China is very predatory. It takes territory, it takes all the business. The Nepali people are left out of it. Whereas with India, it's likely to be a more collaborative effort. So it remains to be seen. If he's got any sense, he'll lean towards India.
And just as we see the votes being counted there in Nepal, of course, we're seeing very, very strong support for the RSP. Are there any other notable developments in the Nepalese elections?
Yeah, well, everybody else has been routed, which is a decisive verdict. And that is always good for stability, because it's not a coalition, it's not a weak government. It is a strong government headed by a young person in his 30s, most likely. And the entire party is pretty new, the Swatantra party. So I have high hopes for Nepal to emerge out of the morass it's been in ever since the monarchy was overthrown.
Do you think that this strong support for the RSP has been a protest vote against the political establishment there in Nepal, or is it a burst of fresh energy, shall we say?
Well, it's a protest vote would be a fringe thing. This is a landslide. So it is a very strong bid on the part of the Nepalese people for change and decisive change. As far as the other parties go, they have cheated the Nepalese people in a manner of speaking, and the Nepalese people have had quite enough. There are high hopes from this particular configuration, and it is going to be incumbent on the new government, which is a majority government, to deliver at least signs of how they intend to take the country forward right in the first 100 days.
Now, what are you hearing about how Balendra Shah will navigate the Belt and Road initiative from China and the Agnipath recruitment tensions with India, especially given the Nepal First nationalistic rhetoric often found in his lyrics and his speeches?
Well, Nepal first, by all means. As far as Belt and Road goes, I think it's going to be put in the deep freeze, because it hasn't really benefited anybody, whether it is in Pakistan or elsewhere in Europe. The Belt and Road is a massive failure. It has, had China invest billions of dollars with little return on its capital for itself or for the countries that have cooperated with it. So I think Balendra Shah is going to put a stop to it in so many words. He's going to review it and so on. And all in all, it won't go forward. As far as Nepal first goes, well, fine, by all means, but just figure out a way to generate income because the economy is in the doldrums. How he will do that without leaning either towards India or towards China is anybody's guess. Of course, there are other countries of the West, but they seem to be pretty embroiled in their own difficulties, and the economies are not doing well. The United States, I don't think it has very much interest in Nepal. Russia, embroiled in its own war, and China, ever present, ever willing to take over like the wolf when it comes to Red Riding Hood.
Gautam Mukherjee, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your thoughts with us. It's been a pleasure. Now, my colleague and senior editor Uday Pratap Singh has spoken to Shuvaloy Majumdar, who is a Conservative MP from Canada, about the state of India-Canada ties, the impact of the Carney visit, and a reset in relations and the possibility of a trade deal. They also discuss Canada's position on the Middle East conflict and the possibility of a regime change in the region. All this and